So, good evening to all. And first day I told about the opportunities. The first and best opportunity is the IBC 2016. That is PUFE transactions. Because just now you are entered into the another profession. The best opportunity is the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. Number of opportunities are there. For that also, I told the list of all IRP or RPs are available in IBBI website, or some of them may be IP or IRPs also here in this class. And if you interact, definitely you will get a chance. Once you have started that particular, or if at all you gain the experience in that line, then others will also fall into. First of all, you will get some experience on account of a transactional audit oblique forensic audit. Don't tell about that one, forensic, or if at all you tell about a transactional audit is nothing but forensic audit in IBC. The next opportunity that is available in the banking sector. In the banking sector, frauds are increasing. Cyber frauds are also increasing. Bank staff, they are not having adequate time. That's why they are appointing the forensic auditors. Every year, the Indian Banks Association, they are writing letters to the three professional institutes like a cost accountancy, company secretary, and chartered accountants about the empanelment process of the forensic audit. Once you got an opportunity, then it is a great opportunity. Why? Because today, most of the bank frauds, most of the loans and advances or deposits or the miscellaneous the business of the bank or the staff frauds are increasing year on year basis. Today, the banks are bleeding with the non-performing assets one side, and the second side, the frauds are also increasing. So here it is a very easy also, like a puff transactions. Here also forensic audit is, but you should have a thorough knowledge about the banking systems and procedures. The main business of the bank is mobilizing deposit for lending purpose. They are mobilizing the deposit only for lending purpose. And other ancillary activities are also there. Yesterday also I have given one lecture on expected credit loss provisions. Expected credit loss provisions. Yesterday I have given one lecture, that is part 2, and earlier part 1, not for forensic audit people, but I have given to the institute only. Today, the statutory audit main role is asset classification and income recognition. The two areas are the main core area of the statutory audit. That asset classification and income recognition is introduced in 1992 under the Narasimhan Committee recommendations. And shortly, it is outdated. Why? Because across the world, asset classification and income recognition is an outdated model, and they have introduced IFRS 9 system they have implemented. Under that, expected credit loss provision is another model. So in future, the statutory audit may be there, may not be there, or if it is there in other form, not the present model. So in future, particularly the Reserve Bank of India may take the three professionals also for arriving the expected credit loss provisions. In the expected credit loss provisions, and that is a new model, evolving model, the Reserve Bank of India issued the draft paper in 26th January 2023. And other than that, they have asked the opinion of the public as well as the professional institute. That is also closed by 28th February 2023. They are going to implement shortly. The date is not declared. So whatever the latest developments that are happening, please try to update that one. Now coming to the banking frauds. Legal regime to control the bank frauds are Indian Penal Code 1860, CPC 1973, NI Act 1881, RBI Act 1934, SURFACE 2002, and Banking Regulation Act. So through these acts, the bank, whatever the frauds are happening, that is to be controlled. Deposit frauds. Deposit frauds are also increasing. Deposit frauds are increasing, miscellaneous business frauds are increasing, and advance frauds are increasing, and ATM frauds are increasing, and particularly internet frauds or cyber frauds or mobile banking frauds, different types, because a number of products are there. And not only that one, discounting of particularly the bills discounting, that frauds are increasing. Next, letters of credit frauds are increasing. Exports and imports, the foreign exchange related frauds are also increasing. Beyond all these things, the shell companies are increasing in India. 2 years back, the Reserve Bank of India issued one guidelines to the bank. In India, number of shell companies are there. They don't have any business, but they have opened their current accounts with the bank. Sir, please put it in mute condition, sir. Sir, please put in mute condition, sir. Amit sir and Yadav sir. Okay. And now coming to this one, deposit frauds are increasing in current accounts. The Reserve Bank of India, nearly 60,000 shell companies are there in India. We have to catch hold of those shell companies. Almost all companies, they might have opened a current account with the banks. You have to verify whether it is a genuine company or shell company. Then banks are deputed the bank-wise list, they're not bank-wise, companies list total they have circulated to all the banks. I am also one of the person to visit to some branches to visit to verify whether the companies are genuine. Some of the companies, they don't have any production department, they don't have any factory, they don't have any branches or showrooms like that. But account is open and the registered office or the administrative office is 2 rooms, the flat in a gated community. That type of companies are there. But if you see the crores of rupees there, transaction, we have identified and informed. Finally, it is a 50,000. 50,000 shell companies were informed to the Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Corporate Affairs to remove from the registers. So here deposit accounts are there. The value inflation of checks deposited and changing the nature of checks, operating dormant and fraudulent. So value inflation. Suppose a 100 rupees check is there, or for 1,000 rupees check on one person is given. Before that, they will alter 1 lakh, 100 rupees like that. And words, some people, they started the words in the midway onwards. The remaining place they will use for 1 lakh amount. Because chemical alteration is possible now on account of technology. So if at all it is not visible for a naked eye, bank is protected under NI Act, Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. So here the checks, changing the nature of the checks, cross it to bearer. Once the crossing is there, account to payee, it should be routed through the account. If at all it is chemically altered and removed the crossing, then the check can be paid through the counter also. Or any endorsement is there backside, that amount can be given transferred to another account also. Operating dormant account fraudulently. Today, number of frauds are happening in banks, particularly dormant inoperative accounts. Some person died. The legal heirs of the person may not have that much lakhs of rupees in savings bank account or like that. Today, passbooks, no passbooks. People are not habituated to carry the passbooks also. Earlier, passbooks are there. If passbooks are there in the house, then automatically people will know after the death of another person, passbook is there, this much balance is there. If there is no passbook and internet banking, even today, the debit card culture is also decreasing on account of UPI payment system. If dormant accounts are there, even staff, particularly staff members of the bank also, whenever the account is not operated for the last 4 to 5 years, then they will target that a particular high value accounts, and they will manipulate that amount to their accounts and siphoning off. Purchase of bills. Bills frauds are also increasing. Kite flying bills. The bill of exchange. I will write the bill of exchange. You will accept. And you are handing over to me. I will go to the bank and discount the bill. At the same time, you will prepare a bill. I will accept. And you will go to the bank and discount that one by creating a fraudulent invoice and a transport document and all these things. Discounting or stolen or fake railway receipts. Today, on account of the technology, even people are also printing the currency notes. Particularly, the currency notes are coming from other countries like Bangladesh and Pakistan. And other necessary bills. Fake and forgery bills for value goods are discounted. If the amount is required, if the amount is required, they will create the bills and a discount with the bank. Next, hypothecation frauds. Banks are giving loan for working capital, for acquiring stocks. The same stocks are hypothecated to different banks. Even the bank is telling that put a board hypothecated to State Bank of India or hypothecated to Punjab National. They will remove when the other bank people will come and they will display their board also. Number of such cases. Hypothecation of frauds, cash advances against a pledged securities of even whether you believe it or not, one borrower availed 27 banks branches, different banks, different branches on the same property, availed a loan from 27. That is the Reserve Bank of India. They have issued circular to the bank. Be alert. Whatever the collateral security offered by the people, some of the people, one person availed on the same security of land and building from 27 banks. That's why the central government has created CERSI. CERSI is a centralized repository of all accounts are to be registered. Then automatically, whenever I'm giving in property, that particulars are available. And if at all I approach the registry office and take a duplicate, and a duplicate is mortgaged to another bank, once the bank is given the particulars in CERSI, automatically flash will come. Already this security availed with the XYZ bank and to the tune of so and so loan. To avoid the double financing or triple financing or 27 banks financing, they have introduced the CERSI website. And the inflation stock statement. Today, how many people are honestly giving the stock statement? Banks, to avoid the loan, the stocks are not there. They are preparing the stock statement and to get the higher amount. Whatever the amount is there, they will divert that amount, diversion of funds. Some of the stocks are large quantity have been less value. Valuation of the stocks. Even though LIFO, FIFO method, weighted average, standard, all these things are there. But bankers, they don't have any time to verify. To go to each and every unit is an Herculean task. Once he has to function at the branch, once he has to give the new loans, that's why whenever the frauds are happening, banks are endorsing that job to the forensic auditor to verify the details. Some of the stock goods in the large quantity must have been less value. Hypothecating some goods in favor of the different banks. I told the stocks are mortgaged as a hypothecated to State Bank. Once they want, they will approach the other bank and these stocks are no financer like that. And they will get on the same stocks from the different banks. Because for the last 36 years, we have seen number of cases on the same stocks, multiple banks, loans. But stock is only one. Double or triple financing or multiple financing. Two different persons taking loans from the same item or product. And borrowers are denied when particular person is eligible for non-payment. Loan taken from one purpose but used for different purpose. Loan taken for agriculture but not used, but used for personal purpose. Diversion. One unit I have visited in Vishakhapatnam. Bank has sanctioned 20 crores. 12 crores for term loan, 8 crores for working capital. When I verify the papers or all the loan file means it contains all the papers of the loan proposal, correspondence, and whatever it is there. When I verified projections, I have seen the projections. Today, working capital loans are sanctioned based on the projections. for new units and old units also. Based on the historical data, projections on the next 3 years average sales into 20% is the bank finance and 5% is the borrower's margin under NIC committee recommendation. Once the banks are giving using this formula, the borrowers are also they projected the sales like anything. I have seen that the projections. I have verified the projections. The projections I have compared with Sir Umesh Arora sir, please put in mute condition, sir. Please put in mute condition, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So here projections. I have compared the projections with the plant capacity. The per annum he has given 10,000 units, but whereas the plant capacity is only 4,000 units. That too 4,000 also 24 hours, 3 shifts. For 3 shifts, he is going to manufacture only 4,000 units. How he will achieve 10,000 units? Then immediately I verify that the plant capacity. So the projections are wrong. Once even here, not only the borrower's fault, even banker's fault also. Being a banker, once I have given 10,000 units projection, how it is possible to achieve? What is the plant capacity? Once the plant capacity for 3 shifts is 4,000, how he will mention 10,000? Immediately the borrower told, no answer. Even banker also, relationship manager, why have accepted that provision, the particular projection? No answer. Okay. First year 10,000. Next year 15,000. After that 20,000. 50% increase. I asked her, but what is the industry growth rate? Year on year basis, the industry growth rate is 3%. Why you have given 50%? Industry growth rate is only 3%. Why you have mentioned, why you have accepted, why you have not compared with the interfirm or intra-firm comparison or industry norms? Then no answer. Third point, the unit, normally the plant is to be erected, buildings are to be constructed, then only the transformer to be arranged. After that only the working capital loan for production, for purchasing of raw material to be dispersed by the bank. This is a basic thing of the bank whenever we are going for work. But the bank, on account of a request made by the borrower, even plant is not erected, he dispersed the 8 crores also. He is not to purchase the raw material, simply still it will take another 3 months to complete the plant erection. After that only the 8 crores to be released. Before that he released, and the 8 crores the borrower diversion of funds to real estate. So here frauds are happening in the bank means not only the borrower, but a banker's involvement is also there. Loan taken for one purpose, but used for different purpose. Loan is taken for purchasing of stocks, but he has utilized it for acquiring they invested in real estate sector. Computer related frauds. To provide efficient and fast service, most of the branches are including rural remote areas have been computerized. Many frauds are reported computerization in the Indian banks. There is no need to analyze the crimes so that appropriate preventive measures. Computer frauds. Bank incomes are there. Bank income. The incomes are interest on loans, exchange on remittances, commission on various services, discount on discounting of bills. These four income accounts, some of the unscrupulous persons, they are debiting that account and crediting to their respective accounts, which is a highly irregular. Because here 2i concept is there. Thus, two eyes are closed and they are doing the transactions. One fraud was happened in Gujarat, Gandhinagar, to the tune of 63 crores. After 4 years, the fraud is increased to 100 crores. Then only the fraud located, the identified. Till such time, all people are closed their eyes. Because here, the seriousness of the working in the financial institution is missing. Following the guidelines, missing. Control systems, missing. No control systems. Even though bank is defined, these are the control system, nobody will follow. Simply coming and going, taking the salary. In that particular branch, one ordinary clerk, his name is Mr. Kirti Acharya, 100 crores. What he did is, Gujarat state government, they are maintaining one government account. Normally, the government people reconciliation is not happening. Rarely they will reconcile their accounts. Whether some other governments no reconciliation, nothing is there. In that particular branch, this Kirti Acharya is in a government seat. He opened 10 dummy accounts in the name of their relatives. Once the account opening is happened, KYC guidelines are there. Address proof, Aadhaar proof, PAN card, and photograph, all these things are there. Once the clerk is opened, that is to be scrutinized by the officer. The clerk is sitting far away. Officer, sir, I have opened 3 accounts, authorize, without seeing the account opening forms. Yes, boss, the queue number is 361, 362, 363. Authorize, like that, 10 accounts authorize. No KYC guidelines. This boy debited to the government account and credited to the relatives account. From there, he is withdrawing that amount. Bank system tells once the account is open, the second I, that is a maker and checker. Checker has to verify whether KYC guidelines are correct or not. Aadhaar number is correct or not. Today, they are producing some Aadhaar card. It is not correct Aadhaar card also. Why? Because some of them, I have seen one person in the Xerox copy shop. One person brought one Aadhaar card, replace that photograph with this photograph and prepare. Then that the shop wala taken 500 rupees for that. Today, bank servers are linked to Aadhaar server. Once I have given the number, then automatically my photograph will also be displayed in the bank's core banking system. Even Jivan Praman pensioners, once the biometric is given, authenticated on the pad, then automatically it catches the other server, my photograph, my full particulars are available. But there, no Aadhaar card, no PAN, even PAN also, PAN card given, immediately it will be displayed the name, the signature, and the date of birth also. In the bank system, I'm not talking about a UTA other server, Unit Trust of India other server. Even this is linked through Society Cloud. Bank servers are linked to the Society Cloud, that is the IDRBT, Institute of Research and Development in Banking Technology, that is located at Hyderabad. It is a subsidiary of Reserve Bank of India. Immediately, once the PAN, some people they are giving wrong PAN. Earlier, the cross-checking in the system is not there. Now it was developed. Once the wrong PAN is there, simply displayed, this is PAN number is wrong. Some of the people they changed the photographs again. All these things, kachada activities are there. So that's why that a particular thing. The boy not verified, the officer not verified the 10 accounts, simply open. As and when the boy requires funds, he will debit to the government account and credit to this accounts. Government is not asking because the crores of rupees funds are, he targeted the big account where crores of rupees funds are coming, no reconciliation. Third one, bank system clearly tells every 6 months the clerical post they have to change their seats. That is called job rotation. That is called job rotation. Job rotation is not happening for the last 5 years in the branch. That's why 100 crores big fraud was happened. No job rotation. Once the 6 months are changed, then automatically next person who occupied that one at that time that fraud will be located. Third one, this boy 5 years he is not applied any leave. Normally everybody will apply leave on account of a headache or fever or personal. After this fraud, the Reserve Bank of India instructed all the banks 14 days mandatory leave. Whether the person, official or clerk, whoever is there, whether they are good or bad, that is none of the business. They have to go on leave continuously for a period of 14 days. That is called a mandatory leave. That was implemented. So here, that boy is coming to the branch by high-end model car. Being a branch head and staff also aware of this one, that he is a below poverty line person, and his take home pay after deduction of loans and other things is getting only 12,000 rupees per month. But how he is coming by high end model car? The lifestyles of the particular staff members are not verified by the branch manager, which is one of the control systems of the bank. As a branch manager, every 3 months, you have to give one report to the higher authority, the lifestyles of the staff member. Any aberrations, any differences you come across, please mention. He is not applied loan. Whatever the accounts opened by him, not verified by the authorized official, and the seat change is not happening, and reconciliation is not happening. Next one is he become the cine producer. pictures and some TV serials producers at that time also. The total file, service file of the staff is available with the branch manager. He never bothered about it to verify the file also. Why the person is suddenly raised from clerical to BMW car and coming to the branch? The branch manager is requesting that boy, you are appears to be a rich person. Why can't you, our branch shortage of 20 crores of deposits this financial year, why can't you use your influence and get it that 20 crores? Out of that fraud amount, I again 20,000 crores he deposited with the same bank. So that's why the banking frauds are increasing day by day, day by day, day by day. Because money, that to core banking system, total country accounts are in their hands. Even though some riders are there, particularly levels are there, up to certain level only the clerical, after that officer, after that is levels are there. The levels are also broken because the people are not habituated to follow the bank guidelines. Earlier, in the banks also, user ID and password is there to open the core banking system of the bank. User ID and password. My friend, if at all, example, my friend is there in the bank. Boss, I am coming today by 12 o'clock. My user ID is this one, password is this one. You please log in by 10 o'clock. At about 12:30, I will go. By that time, 10 o'clock login means it is to be treated as a attendance. And whenever I told to other person, he will transfer the funds from one account to another account. He is doing some wrong things on account of sharing my user ID and password. That's why at present banks are introduced the biometric system of the employee to open the core banking system. Once the biometric is there, then only the system will open. Otherwise, no user ID and password is a secondary one. Primary one is biometric. So the control systems are some controls, built-in systems are there. Not only that one, even in banks, exceptional report, suspicious transaction report, two reports are generated by the core banking system. Exceptional report. If at all I touched the income account and debited the account and credited to any account, whatever the account, if I touched the income account of the bank, the credit balance with the debit and credited to any account, on the next day, Mr. Prasad touched the interest account and debited this much and credited to that account. So that's why that it will be reflected in the suspicious, the exceptional report. Some of the people, even though the loan amount is originally sanctioned for 60 lakhs, they want to accommodate to the borrower without a documentation, 80 lakhs. Immediately they want to change the limit from 60 lakhs to 80. Then only the system will accept the further amount. Otherwise, 60 limit means up to 60 only the outstandings. Beyond that, the system won't accept. First, they will increase the limit. Once they increase the limit, then exceptional report it will. Mr. Prasad, user ID, time, and they access this account like that. That's fine. The exception report are very, very, very useful. Today, how many people are verifying the exception reports? Simply coming and they are going, simply coming and they are suspicious transaction reports. Some accounts, 2000, 2000, 2000, 2000, 100, 2000 transactions are there. Because if at all cash is there up to certain limit, that's why this 2000, 2000 transactions are increasing. This goes to suspicious transaction. If at all I changed the rate of interest, you are my friend. Sir, Mr. Prasad, why you are charging 10%? You are known to me. Then why can't you give me 4% rate of interest? I will go to the interest, this one, change the product code, DIR, differential rate of interest, change it to 4%, then that will calculate 4% instead of 10%. So the banking frauds are different areas, are different methods, are different the modus operandi they are doing by the fraudsters. That's why the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI people, or Central Vigilance Commission, they brought out books, two books. One book is 100 bank frauds. 100 different frauds, how it is happening. If you go through that book, Central Vigilance Commission or CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, some CVC or CBI, they have published one book. How the modus operandi, what are the system lapses, how the auditors are identified that particular system. So here, if you want to be an expert in forensic audit, particularly in the banking frauds, why I told first is IBC, opportunities are. The next best is this one. So many frauds related to computers have been reported as computerization in the Indian banks long back. There is a need to analyze the nature of such crimes, how it is happening, why the control systems are not strengthened. Today, ATMs, number of cash officers looted the money of the bank. They will go to the ATM. They will put a cash in the ATM is 10 lakhs and they will increase 20 lakhs the system balance. System balance is 20 lakhs, physical cash balance is 10 lakhs. How the previous ATM knows about 20 or this one? It is very difficult to calculate. And thereby ATM frauds, CDM, cash deposit machine frauds are happening in the bank. Check frauds, stolen, filed, signed, spuriously in cash. Casual approach is increasing. ATM cards. Earlier, ATM pin mailers are also there in the branch. Today, that is discontinued. ATM pin mailers one box, ATMs are one box, ATM pin mailers are another box. But ATM pin mailers are one box and others are one box. Both are the open box. And today, outsourcing staff is increasing in the banking industry. Number of frauds are happening. Reason is so many reasons are there. One is outsourcing. All the important documented title deeds of the bank is handled by the outsourcing staff, not by the permanent staff. But bank instructions are permanent staff. These people, they are giving the keys to bring that a particular file like that. In one branch, one borrower is availed 5 crores advance and has given the property 10 crores. And he has verified the how the system is working in the branch. And he will call the outsourcing boy. My account number is this one. My title leads are this one. If you bring that one, I will give 50,000 to you. Whenever the officer has given case to the outsourcing boy to bring some file, he taken out that a particular this person's file also, and after the work is over, evening he will carry that one and hand over that 50,000. The loan turn into bad. The loan turn into bad. Once that turn into bad, I have to do either SURFACE or debt recovery tribunal or IBC. Out of these three, I have to do. Immediately, normally, whenever the bank is filing a case with the DRT or IBC or SURFACE, they will verify the documents and all these things, whether all are live documents, and they will take the latest opinion of the empaneled advocate and valuation also. That file is not there in that. How to verify? The outsourcing people, some people, they are working for 2 months. After that, another people, like that. In that case, they have catch hold of that outsourcing by, and the outsourcing by also told about the fact, and immediately the borrower is FIR was filed. First investigation report with the police authorities. Okay, in the meantime, my account is turned into bad. What are the 5 crores given by the bank? Once it is a fraud, we have to provide 100% provision. Once it is a fraud, we have to inform to the Reserve Bank of India. Once it is a fraud, we have to inform to the audit committee of the bank in this regard. Signed checks are stolen and cashed with alterations. Casual approach. Today, no. Earlier, we used it to verify the check, whether any material alteration is there or not. Today, they don't see the signatures also. Some branches, some people, and I'm talking not all people. Check issued by the organization for employees are duplicated. Occurrence of fraud is a reality. Every organization exposed to the fraud risks. Fraudsters are always ahead of the system design to prevent the fraud. Today, the outsourcing staff in the branch, they are well experts than the permanent staff. They know how to operate the banking system. They know how to operate the core banking system. They know how to reach that particular menu navigation. Fraudsters are always ahead the system designed to prevent the frauds. Every company need to install robust prevent control systems in the management process. Planning, organization, staffing, communication, all are there. Last one is control. Today, that control system is failed in most of the organization. That's why the frauds are increasing. We are talking about so many things: corporate governance, that governance, whistleblower, that this. Where is implementation? Step-by-step approach may be under fraud risk assessment, identifying the areas exposed to fraud, ascertain the graphs. One fraud was happened in ATM. one particular person, depositor. This fraud is total 60 lakhs. By God, who is escort the ATM, who is the standing person who is at the ATM room, 60 lakhs. Total fraud amount is 60 lakhs. From 20,000 to 60 lakhs fraud is located. We have started with the 20,000 only. One person, because at that time, I am Assistant General Manager of State Bank of India at Kadapa in Andhra Pradesh. One person came to my room. I am the AGM. Sir, I am the customer of Kadapa main branch. I have taken only 20 lakhs, 20,000. My account was debited twice, 2020. Whenever I am going to your staff asking about, no, 20, 20, 40 you have taken, don't come frequently disturb us. Sir, I am a rich person. 20 is a peanuts for me. If a 20 is located, I will donate it to charitable institution that is located in Kadapa, Mother Teresa. Then I astonish. This is a real problem. That a problem is facing by that particular depository is a genuine, appears to be a genuine. Immediately I ask, sir, 1 month back, I am going to Kadapa to Tirupati. At about 4:30, I want to catch one train, and I came to your ATM, and I have inserted the card, cash not come out. Immediately the guard directed me to use another ATM on the other side. Then I visited, I have withdrawn 20,000 and I visited to Tirupati also and come back. And my account statement, I have seen that 2020 is there. Immediately, for the last 1 month, I am asking all the people in your branch, and nobody is responding. Everybody is giving, you have taken 2020, but you are bluffing because I am a rich man, sir. Even if you show me that 20,000 is any they located, then I will donate that amount to any charitable. I don't want to take that at 20,000, but I want the correct information because your people are telling I have taken, I have not taken. Then I asked what is the date? The date. What is the time? At about 4 o'clock. What is the train on the date? Train is on right time or not right time? Then 4 to 4:30 is the correct time, date. Then I asked the branch to provide the footage of the CCTV camera of both ATMs. Immediately, I started the film is that video is running, and 4:15, particularly the depositor came and the guard also some conversation is happening without sound, only sound, and he directed the other ATM. After that, once the depositor left that particular ATM, the guard carried that play card and put the opposite of the CCTV camera. Now it is in dark. And after 1 minute, again he take out that particular play card. Now it is a ATM and guard is showing. Now I got the clue. Immediately I called that God. And the outsourcing agency also I got. Immediately I called. First, I told to the outsourcing agent, whenever you are coming to meet me, you please bring 20,000. That is for bank purpose, not my personal purpose. He brought 20,000. And I asked him to prepare that particular person who is suffering with this double entry like that. That person is also with me on that day. He is also seen that. Immediately, I asked him to prepare his name and address and sign. What for what purpose, sir? Tell me, sir, reason. First, you prepare. Then I called that God, you sit here. Immediately, I told it to that particular person. I know the superintendent of police of the district. I will call him and I will ask him to take over this man. And he is a fraudster because on that day, again, I have shown that TV. At 4:15, he put the placard and immediately this particular God is shivering. No, no, sir, I know. No, once I told it to the SP, then the matter will be serious. Then he told, sir, in that ATM, the cash will be dispersed once you are inserting the card, and after 2 minutes only, the cash will come out. So in the meantime, whoever is taking the big amounts, I asked him go to that area. After 2 minutes, cash will come out, and I will take that cash. During that cash taken over by me, I will put that play card, that particular not to view by anybody, and CCTV camera, that video, not video, the projector, and I am taking the cash and like that. Then how much amount? That is 60 lakhs. Immediately, I asked all the branches in the Kadapa district, don't engage this agency. This situation drafted and is sent by. So actually, that is the customer is the face the problem, and nobody is listening. The customer content, whatever the story is there, context is there. On that day, I have taken that as a challenge. Why? Because of some frauds. If at all we are lenient in that particular process, so don't come, sir. Why you are coming that 2020 is in your debited to your account? Why you are coming on that day? You might have received, taken, you may have forgotten like that. That type of answers we are giving, that is not correct. What is the real picture? How to see. So here in the banking also number of frauds are happening. For that, banks or officials are not having adequate time to verify that frauds, and they are outsourcing that investigators is nothing but the forensic auditors. Step by step approach, tightening a step up of the controls, plug gaps. Today, plug gaps. I told about the user ID and password. If the people are coming late and their attendance is marked by 10 o'clock, that is, we will leave it off. 10 o'clock, they are coming after 1 o'clock or after 1 hour like that. But in the meantime, the person who is accessing the system, if at all he is debiting to customer account and crediting to another's account, then it is a big problem. That's why bank is introduced the biometric system to plug the gaps. Particularly if the system is weak, we have to plug that where the gaps are there. Constant review the system, deal with the weakness, notice emerging new risks and plug the gaps. That's why on that day, banks are also introduced the now across the country, all banks are introduced the biometric system to access the core banking system. Constant vigilance, reporting mechanism to the top management, CEO or CEO. Once the fraud is today, whether it is what is the modus operandi of the fraud? We have to inform to the top management, particularly the audit committee chairman also. He will discuss. Then automatically risk management department, they will develop to strengthen the particular system also. To strengthen the system. Fraudsters are going fiber ballistic missiles to penetrate even strongest systems also. And the companies need to have anti-ballistic missiles to destroy the missiles of fire. Even core banking system servers also located in a beautiful, particularly lot of control systems, lot of safety measures they will take and build the core banking system servers. Creation of fraud, linguistic organization ingredients describes one of the best defense against the prevention of frauds. This is the one area. I will discuss another one also. Sir, this is a second one. Third one is also there. I will discuss these three PPTs. Indian banking industry facing frauds related issues for the past few years. Today, if at all that a PDF file is available, 100 cases of bank frauds, I will send that 100 cases of bank frauds along with the PPTs also. Indian banks, especially public sector banks, suffering mounting losses and rising in NPAs on account of increased level of number of frauds. That's why if at all you are a forensic auditor, target that small finance banks, target that regional rural banks, directly address a letter that I am a forensic auditor and if at all you require service, please, I am ready to offer my services. All addresses are available in rbi.org.in, Reserve Bank of India website. The small finance banks address list is available, regional rural banks list is available, and directly you can, their websites, all our links are available in Reserve Bank of India websites. In most of the cases, there is an involvement of top management creating a halt on banking activities. Today, credit loans, big loans, Nirav Modi loan or Vijay Mallya loan. Even though banking systems and procedures are there, why the accounts are turn into bad? So in Nirav Modi's case, last 5 years, the Punjab National Bank branch, they are never used the SWIFT, SWIFT, Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications. Whenever the funds are receiving from other countries, it should be routed through SWIFT. Whenever the funds are going to other countries, it should be routed through SWIFT only, Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications. Suppose I have sent, I am a jewelry expert. I have submitted one bill to the bank. The bank will coded that message and send by message to the SWIFT to other country importer. Once the importer paid that amount, that message is to be received by the my branch. Then the branch will decoded that one, and if the bill is paid, the amount will be credited to bank. 5 years. Never used, never touched that SWIFT. Whatever the bills they have sent, most of the bills are returned unpaid. They don't bother about verifying the SWIFT system also. That's why frauds are. So the breaking the systems and the procedures leads to the frauds. Most of the cases, involvement of top level management creating a halt on the banking is over phone, not a written. Why can't you purchase that bill? Okay, he is the best exporter. He is giving most valuable business to us. Without him, the bank will not survive. Like that, the whatever the words are there, they will use, and the lower level people forcibly they are doing violating the banking laws. Loan sanction new projects has happened recent. Nirav Modi has brought a suffering for the industry. New projects. The future. One course, two frauds. I'm talking about two frauds. One thermal power project is there. It is a consortium finance. On account of a pressure, the loan was sanctioned. The loan, particularly the loan was sanctioned, consortium later was sanctioned, and it is in one place in Srikakulam of Andhra Pradesh. They acquired land, bank disbursed the loan. Bank is not having a minimum systems and compiling the one of the important condition of the loan is obtain the pollution control certificates from the government. That thermal project, it creates a lot of dust and other things. Surrounding agriculture lands are completely will be spoiled within down the line 3 years. Later on, this was known to the particular agriculturist. They agitated, and some police firing is also happened, and some farmers are also dying. Immediately, the government was declared they have to shift that particular project to elsewhere, not in that particular. Thereby, lot of loss will happen to the bank. The account turn into bank. Here, the loan is disbursed without following any guidelines. Basic guidelines of a credit is whenever the big projects are happening, but the top management involved, the promoters are directly contact the top management. And the pollution control board not obtained, it dispersed later on the situation. One more project based on gas. It was started at Rajamandri. So the promoters on an they want to complete the project as early as possible, and they have taken loan and some amount diversion. Finally, they erected some equipment. Being a gas-based power project, gas is one of the raw material. They have applied for GAIL, Gas Authority of India Limited. They have not given permission to provide the gas to this particular company. Once the permission is not given at that before sanctioning of the loan, how the bank is dispersed that loan? Because hidden agenda, fraudulent mindset is there. Later on, GAIL rejected the proposal. Without gas, how the plant will run? Second one is for a gas-based power project, storing of the gas is one of the important area. That too, it requires a huge amount of land to construct the preservation of the gas. In that particular area, no land is available. Whenever the project is going to be started, what are the backward and forward linkages? All they have to be studied properly. But they have not studied. Without storing how the unit will run, then crores of rupees losses there to the bank. So loan sanction to the new projects happening like Naira Modi have suffered sufferings of the industry. Many of the top executives have been charged for the corruption and deceitful intentions of granting loan. That is their gas based. The intention is once the loan sanction, kickbacks. Here also in agriculture, the mid of the agriculture lands, they want to start the Hydel project, the thermal project. Here, okay, the bank officials are also involved in most of the cases. This creates a question of corporate governance and ethics in the industry. In fact, means of rising NPS is a global crisis that is responsible for slowdown in the industry. Today, banking frauds are increasing, profits are decreasing, stakeholders are unhappy, and the ratings of the bank is also falling. In the year 2014, 139 crore fraud of Calcutta-based industry, Bipin Bora and others booked the CBI allegedly that the Central Bank of India by obtaining loan for forged documents. Today, security documents are forged documents. In Hyderabad itself, in one bank, they have sanctioned 29 housing loans. Each housing loan is 2 crores. All are fabricated documents. All are fabricated. 29 loans. Each loan is around 2 to 3 crores. Fabricated. Today, color Xerox documents are appears to be original when compared to the original documents. Central Bank of India. In 2011, 150 crores executives of Bank of Maharashtra, Oriental Bank of Commerce, and IDBI created 10,000 fictitious accounts. Not even one fictitious means by mistake. 10,000 fictitious transferred loans to these accounts by CBI investigation has found. One account means, okay, the probability of a mistake. 10,000 fictitious account and transferred loans. 2 years back, one person, Mudra loans, the Sishu, Tarun, Kishore loans are there. In one branch, 300 loans are given. For all 300, the invoice is the same invoice. The invoice number is also same. The supplier name is also same. The quantity is also same. Signature. They taken Xerox copies of one and they have attached it to 229 documents. Before forensic audit, the same was audited by number of auditors, either concurrent auditor or statute. Nobody pointed out. The forensic auditor pointed out this 300 accounts are fraudulent accounts. In the year 2015, 2 crores fraud booked by the CBI from Deputy General Manager, Central Bank of India, 3 directors, Jain Infrastructure Project, MK Jain, for defrauding the bank. Bribings, all these things are there. In 2017, CBI arrested the promoters of Abhijit Group, Manoj Jaiswal and Abhishek Jaiswal, and TL Pai, former DGM Canara, that Canara and Vijaya banks for 290 crores. Today, banks are in red balance, particularly losses means one side NPAs If you seriously go through the non-performing assets, definitely each and every non-performing asset is one fraud account. You compare at the time of application, what he told, the present scenario. In the year 2014, officials of Ahmedabad-based Electrodharm India allegedly cheated Central Bank of India in conveyance of the bank employees. Siva booked the company directors 437 crores. But that CBA booklet, that is a good book, 100 and if you are familiarized the particular concept and terminology and all these things, definitely you will become an expert in the area. In 2017, CBI arrested Padmakar Deshpande of a Bank of Maharashtra officer from Pune, along with the director Siddhivinayaka Logistics Limited, a private limited company in Surat, in connection with the 836 crore fraud case. Modus operandi. If at all I discuss the modus operandi, all these things are there in that particular book. In the year 2016, CBI booked 4 people, including chief manager of Syndicate Bank, alleged that a scam in which fake checks, letter of credit, and LIC policies, withdraw money 1,000 crore. No exception. Today, one gang is there in some parts of the country. Gang. They are creating the bank guarantees. They are having the stamps of the bank officials. And whenever the government is floated any tender, without they are contacting the banks, that gang is issuing bank guarantees. This was located now. The control systems of the bank is completely changed. And whenever the government is asking any bank guarantee, bank and the government, they will interact, not by the. Simply, they are preparing the bank guarantees as per the requirement of the government. If they approach the bank, they will ask, bank will ask collateral security, bank will ask commission, and they will directly pay the amount to the government. In the year 2015, 6,000 crore fraud was related money laundering and fund siphoning of scam. Scamsters exploited loopholes of the remittance rules to bring back the illegal money parked abroad, discussed as an export revenue. Not small. They are also transferred money abroad, claiming that advance payment to overseas vendors, employees of various banks, including Oriental Bank of Commerce and Bank of Baroda, allegedly as a part of the scam. In the year 2014, 8,000 crore dubbed bribe for loan scam. CBA found that a well-oiled nexus between the top of bank officials and companies. Bank chiefs were bribed companies wanting loans. Ex-chairman of MD Syndicate Bank, S.K. Jain, was among those arrested. You please go through that each and every fraud. The modus operandi of the fraud is very important. In 2007, one of the most publicized alleged frauds are 9,000 crores in India's banking industry. Liquor Baron Vijay Mallya was defrauding the consortium lenders. 2008 and 12,000 crores, Calcutta-based Nilesh Parekh was arrested, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, for allegedly siphoning of 1,700 kg of imported duty-free gold, defrauding 25 banks. He was earlier arrested by CBI, siphoning of the bank loans for 2,672 crores, Hawala channels and dummy companies in Singapore, Dubai, Hong Kong. One of the recent diamond trader, Nirav Modi, oil jokes, 14,000 crores. Both accused fled India before they could be arrested. So the last PPT also I will show, and some of the important points are also there in the last PPT. Third one. The strength of the financial system can be judged by its level of production and consumption. The living standards of the status of the people can be judged with the soundness of the financial system. Today, the financial system, that is banks, are weakening on account of the frauds. But if the financial system is packed with the frauds and a high degree of NPS, it should be cause of worry for any nation. It is not a bank's problem. It is a nation's problem. In Indian economy, in fact, suffering for the past many years from these issues. Cyber crimes, almost banks offer online and mobile banking service. Today, that's why the Reserve Bank of India is going to be, they already introduced the CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. The wholesale was launched on 1st November 2022, and the retail was introduced on 1st November and December 2022. Initially, they identified four banks and four states, and now it is increased to eight banks and eight states. Now it is functioning very well. It is the World Bank instructions. World Bank instructions. And the Bank for International Settlements, that is Basel, Switzerland. They also instructed all the regulators of the countries to introduce the CBDC at the earliest. The CBDC was introduced in almost 100 countries, and 60 pilots are countries, 60 countries a pilot is completed, and they rolled out to the country, and 40 in progress. India is also in progress. Down the line, after 1 year, the 2 years, the physical currency will disappear. And at that time, down the line, 2 years, the ATMs will decrease, the cash counters at the branch will decrease, and the currency chest will also disappear. And it is a central bank digital currency. And through this digital currency, the Reserve Bank of India, they are maintaining master register. Suppose if at all I am purchasing 1 lakh digital currency, the bank will ask denominations. I will tell about 2000 denomination this much, 500 denomination, 200 this much, 100 this much, up to 1 rupee, even coins also. And each and every rupee note, the prefixed number is also there. If at all I am giving to other person, then in the central registry, that is tracked, mapped, and one person to another person. How many that note is passed through how many people, that is tracked in the central registry. Tomorrow, it is a good sign for the banks also. Once I have given a car loan, if I mapped in the CBDC, I have given the CBDC and it goes to his wallet. And if I mapped only for car loan, means that amount will not be used for others. Even tomorrow, the central government is given to state governments also funds. This is for road construction, means that funds are to be utilized road construction. If at all any fraudulent transactions are there, that can be tracked through the central registry also. So the money laundering activities and bribing, all these things will be curbed with the CBDC. Today, the country is incurring 20,000 crores for printing of currency, but nobody is paying any amount other than the value of the money. The 200 means the government is giving 200. For each note, 2 rupees 50 paisa, some notes, and 3 rupees 50 paisa, some notes incurring. The life of the note is 1 year. Once the CBDC is implemented within the 10 years, completely the frauds will minimize it drastically. Cyber crime, almost all banks offer line banking services. Debit card, credit card, and other payment methods are using for banking transaction. ATM machine and the electronic channels are using this payment measure. Money laundering activities increasing the chance of terrorist funding. Once the CBDC is introduced, this money laundering activities will not arise. Rigorous regulatory requirement to control and media scrutiny by banks and financial it is necessary for the control of frauds. Black money. Actually, in future, particularly the CBDC is useful for notary evidence, notarized evidence. In courts also, suppose I'm giving 10,000 rupees to you. For that, I need not take any documents. That it is recorded in the central registry. So it is a notarized evidence. Thereby, lot of changes will happen. The software and the POS machines all will be changed once the central bank digital currency is increased. India is one of the toppest position of the world increasing black money, loan loss, the risk of increasing NPA bad debts manifold. Due to the appropriate method of monitoring loan and not by the proper due diligence. Today projections, even we are taking the services of Dun and Bradstreet. Suppose one diesel generator set is there, particularly power projects, DJ sets are required. How much we don't know bankers. If the borrower is submitted one invoice, we will send to Dun and Bradstreet. Dun and Bradstreet will inquire and give the information to the bankers. Even though that type of systems are there, still frauds are happening. Proper due diligence is there. Credit growth is increasing. Frauds are also affected credit growth of the country. Credit growth is increasing. Frauds growth is also parallelly increasing. The increase in frauds affects the faith of the financial sector. The financial sector faith is also lost. Eventually affects the credit growth of the economy. Today, if frauds are increasing, nobody will deposit their surplus funds with the bank. And once the bank's deposits are not there, they are unable to give the loans also. Once they are unable to give the loans, the three important sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, service sector, that is a primary, secondary, tertiary sector will not grow. Causes of the fraud in banking sector. First and foremost is the direct and indirect fault of their own officials. That is the first cause. Once these people involvement is not there, fraud will not arise. Or fraud can be mitigated also. The fault could be intentional manipulation of rules and regulation. Bank is telling something, implement is different. Suppose you take for example, mortgage title deeds are there. Bank told, go to the registry office and search report. Obtain the search report with a legal officer. In most of the cases, the search report is missing. Whenever the loans are given, it should be registered with the ROC under section 77 of the Companies Act. That is also not happening. So intentional manipulation of rules and regulation, for the financial gains could be unintentional due date, knowledge and awareness of the procedures and system. The other reasons, non-adherence of the KYC guidelines. KYC guidelines are very important for loans, for deposits, for miscellaneous business, for all cross-selling, all is required. Earlier, fraudsters are using, they keep it their funds in rupee traveler checks and demand drafts also. Huge amount of funds are there in demand drafts earlier. 2 lakhs they will purchase, and 6 months they wait. After that, 6 months they will take. If at all they put in a savings bank, then income tax problems. During the peak season, sometimes bank officials open the accounts customer without compiling KYC norms due to pressure and carelessness. KYC guidelines are, whenever you are doing the forensic audit, the basic principle in investigation process is whether the KYC guidelines are fulfilled or not. From there, you have to start the process. Fraudsters use the benefit of open their account, deposit forged checks, and withdraw the amount also. 50,000 shell companies are there with the bank. That's the Reserve Bank of India issued circular. Don't open any current account unless until proper investigation is. 50,000 shell companies, they are doing the business, they are routing the transaction, crores of rupees. And finally, no business, nothing. To achieve the business target, staff of banks use the unethical ways. Lack of proper audit, inspection, suitable system, fraudulent activities increase in the system. That's a Foreign Currency FCRA, Foreign Currency Regulation Act. Foreign Currency Regulation Act. Today, some of the charitable institutions or non-governmental organizations, they are receiving huge amount of funds from other countries. Earlier, these NGOs or religious organization, they are eligible to open their account any branch in any area, any bank or any branch. Today, that is not the case. FCRA is completely revamped, and now they have to open their account in Parliament Street of a State Bank of India branch only. And daily, the Minister of Home Affairs, they will monitor how many funds are coming from other countries to which account, and they told earlier 90% of the funds they are utilized, they are showing the audited statements administrative expenditure. Now they given some guidelines. The administrative expenditure is not more than this amount like this. And the FCRA Act amendment is the best one to control the fraudulent transactions and money laundering activities in the country. To achieve the business target, staffed bank unethical ways, lack of a proper audit inspection, suitable system, fraudulent activities increase in the system. Lack of proper internal control systems are not there. Increase in chances of fraud, poor control environment, improper documentation, inadequate accounting system increases the chances of the fraud. Even though the internal control systems are there, still wherever the weaknesses are there, the fraudsters are using that weaknesses of the system. New technology, financial software is one of the causes for lack of proper data scrutiny in the new technology, increasing the chance of theft, cyber crimes, and other. So for this CBDC, central bank digital currency, the Reserve Bank of India introduced two systems. First, after that only CBDC. One is the UPI 123. UPI 123. UPI 123 is without internet, the funds can be transferred. They have specially designed one phone UPI 123. For rural people, if at all CBDC introduced, the cyber fraudsters, they will manipulate that particular this one like that. So that's why UPI 123 that is introduced. In the UPI into 3, they specially designed mobiles. The mobiles are used and without internet connectivity, without internet facility also, funds can be transferred. Second one is Digisati. Whenever they come across any frauds, particularly cyber frauds, immediately 24/7, all languages, the call center is established. After that, only third stage, the retail CBDC was introduced. Now it is in closed monitoring and observation is happening, and that's why a lot of publicity is not there for CBDC. Once it is 100% successful, they wish to roll out across the country. But it is a success alone. Why? Because in 60 countries it is happening, and they're taking the feedback, whatever the problems and all these things, they are set writing the whatever the weakness of the system is there. Use of electronic channels like online banking, debit card, credit card, ATM, NEFT, internet banking, mobile banking provides new ways to the fraudsters. Today in Rajasthan, one place is there. That place, village across the country, the cyber frauds, highest cyber frauds they are doing. That the villagers are not having not educated people, but they don't allow the people to enter into that village also. So now the in economic times, the series of that particular stories in that particular place, how these people are doing frauds, all these things they narrated. Inexperience from the side of the staff, lack of awareness from the side of the customer also create a fraudulent activities in the financial and banking system. There are many reasons of fraud, primarily related to poor regulatory system. Even prompt corrective action is there. Reserve Bank of India and the regulators are closely monitoring their financials. Suddenly, the bank is collapsed. The Punjab Maharashtra Cooperative Bank is fraudulent. The directors are swallowed the funds. They have taken the big loans for the close relatives, and they have declared those accounts as a non-performing asset. The poor people who are they invested their surplus funds in that particular bank, they are facing the problem. And employees, lack of supervision, top management, improper use of technology, lack of awareness, customer employees, and poor coordination. Today, in cooperative banks, technology is there. That technology is not that much strong. Even in Hyderabad, one bank is there, Mahesh Cooperative Bank, like that. And cyber fraud was happened, and directly they have not taken the fund from the customer account, directly general ledger account to the tune of 12 crores or so. Suddenly, this was catched hold of by the attention is played by the police and other people, and it was stopped and recovered also. To overcome this, banks should constantly monitor the system, regularly review the check transaction, which may cause on online frauds. With increasing the use of e-banking, internet banking, mobile, or risk fraud is increasing. To address this, there is a need to educate customer first and create awareness. That's why financial inclusion and digital literacy, financial literacy, digital literacy, simultaneously it is happening in most of the rural areas. Now the government is giving lot of importance because a digital India means it should be started from village, not from the urban. Urban people are already having the knowledge about the what are the various digital facilities that are available in India. It is a high time to make the more stringent laws to curb the growing means of the corruption among the bank officials. Foremost challenge of the bankers secure bankers customer from internet related crimes. Banking operations such as inter-branch transaction, loans, deposit, and other online transactions should be highly secure. Legal requirement and procedural control should also be adequate to dealt with that. Program related awareness. Education of bank staff and customers should also be organized from time to time to save the nation from these frauds, which have been potential to create a question mark on a reputation of our economy. Once the frauds are increasing, the rating of the country will also reduce. This is in brief about the general aspects of the fraud. Anyhow, I'm going to give the particular this one, that is 100 fraud cases of banks along with this PPTs. And what I told is here the involvement of internal frauds and external frauds are there. If you see the internal frauds are more, or even external frauds are they are colluded with the internal people of the banks, then only this much. Today, what is happening means some of the borrowers, the staff of the bank is giving a lot of comfort and casual approach. They don't see, they don't verify if at all any bills are there. Crores of rupees also, whatever the document submitted by the borrower is correct or not, they don't verify. Simply based on the face of the borrower, they will discount and send. Later on, it turn into bad. So that's why in banks, the deposit frauds are increasing, advance frauds are increasing, bills discounting frauds are increasing, and particularly the internet banking or mobile banking frauds are. But here, as a role of the forensic auditor, you should have the thorough knowledge about the systems and the procedures of the bank. Once any assignment, related assignment, banking forensic audit related assignment, first, what is the modus operandi of the fraud? Thereafter, what is the bank systems and guide? For that, bank manuals are available. Bank standard operating procedure books are available. Bank circulars are available. Bank the systems and the procedures booklet is available. All these are helpful to identify and to fix the accountability of the those who are fraudsters. That is also possible. But today, in the coming days, on account of this technology, and number of frauds are likely to be increased. For that, the forensic auditor not only finding the fraud and modus operandi of fraud and fix the accountability of the fraudsters, but also how to mitigate the fraud, how the system is, how much the strength of the existing system, how to fill up the gap, particularly weakness system is there, how to fill up the gap, that also to be mentioned in the forensic audit report. For that, every year, the Indian Banks Association, they are giving advertisements for empanelment of the particular forensic auditor. For that, you start with the IBC of itself after completion of the course. After that, go for this small banks or urban banks or regional banks. Directly, you can send your application or resume. Whenever that situations are happening, definitely they will take your service. In the meantime, also technology related frauds are increasing means you have to update the knowledge in the technology. This is a simple presentation on the frauds. Now next week onwards, the next onwards. Tomorrow also I will discuss one more inventory frauds, how it is happening, particularly in stock and book dates audit. What type of inventory, the inventories, the frauds are happening. That I will discuss. After that, you have to give the presentation. But why the presentation concept was introduced by the institute is some rationale is there. What is that rationale? Once you are involved in the subject, definitely some good results will happen. Otherwise, listening is also gives us some knowledge, but involvement gives more knowledge to you. That's why whatever the groups are there, seven people interacted with the people, and whatever the latest developments that are happening in that particular concept, if you highlight, then it is not only useful to you but also to others. Sir, kindly clarify me whether the group are formed or not. If so, which group added? And each today mails are received about groups. Mails are received about the groups. Sir, you should already send the mails, sir. Sir, please share your PPT. Definitely, sir. Once the class is over, along with 100 also, I will send. Could you please guide me on how to enroll the insolvency course? So now this is a forensic audit classes. I will discuss separately. If you telephone to me, I will inform about the registration. My email, my cell number is 9618439123, sir. If at all you require any clarification and others, and please contact me. My number is 9618439123. 9618439123. Did not receive any mail. One minute, sir. Only 1 minute. Any doubts, sir? Any clarification? Sir, any clarification?
Sir, next week presentation is there.
Sir.
But group not formed so far.
Groups are formed by the coordinator, sir. So by this time, some of the people they may have received the mails also.
Maybe group one they would have informed. Group one, group two presentation is there on 6th, right? Maybe for them only it is informed.
Slowly they will inform to others also, other groups also.
Okay.
Sir, any doubts and any clarifications?
Sir, regarding this passbook and bank account details you are telling, no, if a person is keeping passbook, only family members will know about the fund available after his deceased or anything has happened. But nowadays, this bank account is linked to Aadhaar card. Is there any process that Aadhaar card, if a person died, by accessing the Aadhaar card, all the bank accounts, FD, everything can be traceable?
Sir, even the data of the bank customers are disclosed to all the people. How they are informing to now banks are focusing on cross selling. Now the banks are focusing on cross selling. selling of the third party products like life insurance, general insurance, mutual funds, credit cards, demat accounts like that. During that process, particularly the banks are sharing the data to others. Thereby, it is a big risk to the customers also. Now, nobody is focusing on that particular area.
Sir,
Sir, one
regarding
live
that
example
ATM
of
fraud,
bank transaction, sir.
Sir?
One live example of bank transaction. See, I'm having a housing loan in the Indian Overseas Bank.
Sir.
Every month they used to debit the EMI amount by 9th.
Okay.
This month again, after 22nd, they have debited EMI account with different amount.
Different amount.
Yes. When I went and inquired to the bank, they said that standard instruction is there. SI.
Sir, standard instructions means once the rate of interest increased, EMI will be resetted. Resetting of
True.
EMI.
True.
Suppose take for example, earlier rate of interest is 10%. Now it is 12%. Means automatically the system will reset your EMI. Thereby,
Okay.
the EMI amount will increase. Otherwise, if the old EMI is taken into account, then after 90 days, your account will be treated as a non-performing asset.
Correct. In the same month, two EMIs are debited with two instructions.
Two EMIs are debited, sir.
Yes. With the two different instructions, standard instructions. When I inquired the bank, there are the standard instructions for the two EMIs. The second standard instruction is only in the month of only in the April. How they will change the standard instruction without my knowledge? Is it possible?
Sir, possible means here what is happening is terms and conditions letter are there. At the time of sanctioning a loan, bank will give one letter that is called terms and conditions letter.
Okay.
So this terms and conditions letter to be signed by the borrower. If at all guarantor is there, guarantor also to be signed.
Okay.
But what is happening means at the time of taking the loan, every borrower, not only you or me, every borrower simply signing all the documents
Yes.
without reading the contents of the document. That is the problem, sir. If you go through the terms and conditions, then line by line, or sentence by sentence, then this type of problems will not arise. This condition may be there in the terms and conditions, sir. But what purpose I don't know, because the two EMIs they debited means for what purpose they have debited? Why they have debited two EMIs?
When I inquired the who has given the standard instruction, date also they have shown. But who has changed the standard instruction, they don't have answer.
But the details, if at all, as a layman also, they will discuss clearly why they have debated all these things, whether it is on account of interest rise or any irregular amount backlog is there. So many conditions are there. It is very difficult to say under which condition they have debated twice. The once we interacted with them, and definitely they will. They briefly tell about that why they have debited twice EMIs to your account.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Tomorrow we
hello.
will meet.
Hello.
Sir.
Sir, I would like to share nowadays the bank's few tactics or activities they are doing, and I think they are, I can say they are some kind of frauds only. But many of the banks I have seen even personally also, many banks, they charge something and they will say reversal. It will be reversed, and reversal normally are not happening. I will give example like credit cards, for example, banks are giving and they will charge 750 rupees per year as the card service charges. And on the contract also it is mentioned, if you spend 1 lakh rupees within 3 months, it will be reversed, the 750 rupees. And the charges are normally once in a year, which is normally happens in April for the next subsequent coming financial year, March or April they will charge. And nobody remembers when he will complete 1 lakh rupees of expenditures. People spend sometimes 3,000, 5,000, 20,000. And for example, 1 lakh is happening in the month of October, November, cumulative. Nobody remembers. And the banks never reverses their charge. In fact,
here, sir, public sector banks, that hidden charges are normally, it is not there. But private sector banks, hidden charges are more, sir. Hidden charges. So they will tell something and they will do differently.
Yes, sir. And when we reminded them, then because something else happened, then I asked them, why my charge are not reversed? They say, no, as soon as 1 lakh will be spent, it will reverse. I already 3 lakhs are over. Then they say, okay, now we will reverse it. Then I found my all 20 years when the card was started. Then I said, you never reversed in the 20 years. I sent them some 7-8 years statements also. Now they say, okay, we will reverse like that. But if I don't remember, and if this all the charges 750 rupees are going, although on the contract very clear it is mentioned that will be reversed, so they don't reverse. This is one kind of that. Similarly, I found in another bank, which is also very reputed bank in India, when we took house loan, and they told their administrative charges and there will be some another document screening charges something, and they said once it will get approved, this will be reversed after 2 months, after 2 or 3 MIs. And now almost 1 year is over, it is never reversed. Then I told them, you told, because sometimes we keep reviewing like that what we told bank and what bank said to us. And I found that charge 6,000 rupees charges not reversed. When I reminded them, now they're telling, okay, within 1 or 2 months it will get reversed. But if we don't remind them, it will never reverse. So this kind of, see how many people are having credit card, how many people are taking loans, huge number. And the banks are doing like that. So this is definitely through banks happening, sometimes wrong EMI. Sometimes nowadays people are taking everything through EMIs, even cell phone, TVs, laptops, everything. And EMIs are running for 3 years, 4 years. Who remembers that? Interest, they are changing. I don't know how they are changing interest and all these things. So definitely banks are doing something which is they are not supposed to do. This is clear. So I think this point is valid. If they have taken 2 EMIs, they have to be. But there is no centralized some agency which can take action on these banks.
Okay, sir. Tomorrow we will meet.
Yes, sir.
Good night. Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.